forget. Sometimes we never forget. Haven't seen the end of it yet. We'll fight as long as we live. All eyes on the hidden door to the lonely mountain road. We'll ride in a gathering storm till we get our long forgotten goal.
There we go. Welcome to TAC Chat number 39. I am Dan, your host. My website is spiritualanarchist93.com, and I'm going to finally be getting a server this Saturday. So with that said, I'm on YouTube. I'm on a couple other platforms. I'll have the links underneath here. I want to talk about trauma today. You know, forgive me, I just got done training. If you're not training, believe me, someone else is. Get to training. Be as healthy as you possibly can be. Excuse me. So I want to talk about trauma. I want to clear something up that I said last Thursday. Happy Thursday, by the way. Hope this finds everyone feeling safe in this disease-ridden, fear porn-ridden world. Anyway, I realized I was doing something very, very, very human, and that is coming from a space of, like fear instead of a space of love. And in other words, I kind of fell to, hey, I hate slavery and I'm in fear of slavery, instead of saying, you know, how about coming from a space of, instead of I hate slavery, come from a space of I love freedom. It's how you direct your energy. And I realized this was a lesson I had to not relearn, I just had to remember it. In 2017, I nearly died. I did a TAC chat called A Note on Love. I'll put that down below. And I detail, my near-death experience in 2017, and all that was left was love. And sometimes the ego grows back. It is a garden that needs to be weeded. So I said something in my last, my last TAC chat, and I had someone ask me about it as far as not wanting to heal or not being healed. And I want to correct myself on something here. So first off, when I rise from darkness, who are they? I had to delve back into my childhood, and it was really interesting because there was very traumatic things that happened in my childhood that some people read the book, they had to put it down, they couldn't continue reading it, and I didn't write that to have some vomit of self-pity. I wanted to paint a picture, and I think I painted it pretty well. And the book is for free on my website. You can download it as a PDF or just read it right on the website. Again, that's spiritualanarchist93.com. I had to go back to, as I remembered these stories, to retell these stories, right? I had to go back to some of those traumas. And they've got let me just predicate this. I'm not a psychologist, but I don't have a whole lot of faith in people with initials behind their names, because of the type of work I did on several levels of government as an ex-order follower, one of them being federal medical facility. And they would do and diagnose anybody with whatever they were paid to or told to do. Okay, they're order followers. Worse than military police, which I'm going to get to police in a minute. But yeah, they got this therapy where if you've got some type of dysfunction as an adult, we all have them to one degree or another, they want to take you back to this original trauma in your childhood. And there is a therapy, and it has some success. I would caution against that, because in my case, I didn't even remember half the shit until I went back and started, going over to write this book. And to a certain degree, it was kind of like re-traumatizing. So I don't think that modality of therapy is a good one. But again, I'm not some professional psychologist, but all psychology really is telling people what they already know with words they don't initially understand, okay? I did 30 years of clinicals, and I wrote 2 57,000-word dissertations. I think I deserve to talk about psychology if I so choose. People with initials behind their names don't impress me, and there's a lot of college degrees running our world right now in all these governments, and how's that working out for us so far? So anyway, but with that said, there are good people out there in the mental health profession, that are really trying to help people. And, there's all kinds of different mental health things going on. People are pretty stressed out in the world, right? And I would say that the stuff from my childhood, writing the book, I really a couple different times, and then when rereading the book in one of the edits, so there's like 2 different times in 2 different spots of the book, I really broke down and cried. And I gotta tell you, and I wrote about this in the book, you never know the weight you're carrying until you feel its weight off you. And I swear to God, it was like something was just lifted off me when I cried. It was therapeutic for me. I just don't think it's therapeutic for everybody. I put myself through it. Okay, this is part of my shadow work. This is part of going internal. This is part of remembering bad stuff for a book. And I had forgotten half the shit. Kids are durable. But getting to being an order follower, man, as an ex-order follower and some of the psyops I had to endure after a work-related injury, and I can go into detail on that. I'm just not going to right now, but I endured a lot of different psyops. I working for several different levels of government and having done plainclothes and having been trained in security forces and different things and surveillance and counter-surveillance and psyops and propaganda, I could break this shit down really in depth. And I do in my book, Rise from Darkness, fairly in depth. When I said I don't want to heal from that, what I mean is I'm triggered. Like, I'm not going to be triggered after having worked for all those levels of government as an ex-order follower. It's just not going to happen. But I have healed enough to move on, press ahead, do the job that God with a capital G has put me here to do. And I don't want to forget about that shit because I'm thankful to be really awake to what's really going on in the world. I understand there's a lot of people that are just, their mind controlled, their ego entrenched, so they're not coming out of it. Okay, so put the information out there and hope you can get to people. But I don't watch the news, but every time I open up my browser, man, I'm seeing new bullshit, and I know exactly what it is. So for me, it is triggering. And if I was going to pretend it wasn't, that'd be inauthentic. That'd be lying. It is triggering. But the ability to recognize that it's a trigger and is what I probably should have said, and not, hey, I don't want to heal from it. What I meant is I'm healed from it to a degree, but I don't want to pretend like it isn't triggering, because what ends up happening when people do that is they form this apathy. I've seen it, this apathetic, toxic indifference. And I never want to be apathetic or indifferent to what's going on in the fucking world, okay? I do transcendental meditation sometimes twice a day. I usually at least get it in once, only 7 minutes. And I didn't pick 7, although 7 is a spiritual number of significance. I didn't pick 7 for that reason. I picked 7 because it takes me about 2 minutes to really settle into it, and then I get that 5 minutes of dead time of no mind. The Japanese refer to as mushin, no mind. And like yesterday, blinked by, went by fast. So that's enough for me to get focused. I'm not going to sit there with my mudras formed and pretend that the world isn't in the trouble that it's in, okay? So with that said, I just want to, when you talk about trauma, I hear all these people talking about trauma. I haven't monetized my Facebook channel. So when I do talk about different things like that through my own experiences, it's really to try to help people. I'm not trying to make money off of it. I get nothing out of you continually identifying with your trauma. And that was really what I was trying to get at. Some people ego identify so much with their trauma that they don't want to heal, or they use their trauma as an excuse for some unhealthy coping mechanism in an addictive spiral. Believe me, I know, I've been there, got the t-shirt, okay? So I don't want people identifying with that trauma. But I realized what I was, overall doing is it's very easy to fall into, despair. It's very easy to fall into, like a depression or get angry, and get like toxically angry and just focus on, I hate slavery, I fear slavery, therefore I hate slavery, instead of, hey, I love freedom. So if I come from a space of love, that's what I'm going to say is I love freedom. And, that's about all I'm going to say as far as that's concerned. It's what we got going on in the world is just it's really nuts. We need to pray for the entire world. And I've lost 2 people dear to me in the last 7 months. 2 people have died. My father-in-law and my stepfather. And that's tough. I've woke up at night because of it. I've got issues. Like, who doesn't? We all got issues. And it just made me realize I didn't tell them I love them as much as I should have. So what I would suggest today is to put a little love out into the world and say, hey, if there's someone you need to tell them you love them, tell them you love them. I'm not saying go tell someone toxic you love them. There's certain people you probably put out of your life for a reason. But man, it could be a grocery store clerk you see every day that smiles at you, that helps you out and is extra nice. Or it could be a martial arts student, or definitely a family member, man. Don't take people for granted. Tell them you love them. Guys, tell a guy friend or a gal friend, tell them you love them. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying that. Put the love out there. Come from a space of love. I forgot that. It's very easy to fucking forget it, man, and get all macho and shit. And yeah, that's not really. There's going to be a time for that. Okay. With that said, I would suggest having 3 to 5 months worth of food, water, and heat if you're in the northern states. I really think between November and next spring we're going to have some stuff. Just like Game of Thrones, when they had that saying, winter's coming. I think winter might be coming, so to speak. But anyway, this is a Thursday Tack Chat. I just wanted to throw something out there. In 2 weeks, I'm going to have that special guest on here finally, and we're going to talk about conspiracy theories. He's got 25 years of research. I can't wait to dig into this guy's brain. But anyway, I hope Thursday finds you feeling safe. It's Thursday. You know, the defender of Midgard is Thor. Hopefully you're feeling defended today. And, until next time, man, stay safe.